Hi everyone, so today's video is going to be my end of October updates, and I'm going to start with my Aerides quinquevelnera, and it's currently in double spike, so that's very exciting. Another thing I changed was my Brassavola cucullata red form. I was previously inside the pot, but because of this issue, I didn't want that to happen again, so I removed it and I flipped the pot over so it's acting more like a mount now. It did have some live root tips, but they're not there anymore, so I think it's just adjusting, but I'm hoping this will be a lot better for the plant. And this is my Stanhopea. I had it outside for a while to get some cold temperatures, but temperatures are getting pretty low now, so I've brought it inside to overwinter. And this is my Pteroceras longicalcareum. I got one bloom out of it, but unfortunately I actually missed taking photo of the bloom open. I didn't realize it only lasted for one day, so I was going to take the photo the following day since I was quite busy. Then I noticed that it was already closed and it wasn't opening back up, so I missed that. This is my Ascocentrum ampullaceum. You can probably tell it's missing one growth, and that's because it had completely rotted, so I had to take that out and remove it. So I'm just left with this one now, but that's not so bad because it does have this guy here, so hopefully this will recover. And one thing to note about these three Vandas is initially I had wanted to water them more frequently throughout the week, but that just hasn't been happening. I'm not able to do that currently. So the roots were kind of suffering. So what I've been doing now is watering them like how I water my Vandas in glass vases. I'll soak them for 24 hours, maybe a little bit more if I forget, once a week, and that's it. And so far, they've been handling that well. This is my Epidendrum ciliare, and it's still in sheath. And this is my Phalaenopsis subparishii, and it's definitely in double spike. Not sure why this leaf is turning yellow. Another thing I changed in my grow space was I added this little parasol for my Rhynchorides Bangkok sunset. The leaves are turning very purple from the LED light, so I figured it was too strong, so I just wanted to add a little bit of shade. So that's what that parasol is for. It looks quite dark in video, but that's because there's some backlight from the window that's coming in, but it's getting quite a lot of light actually. And with my Paraphalaenopsis seedlings, I decided just to pot them all up individually, except for this one. This one's still a community pot. I did have some more losses. There was some rot, so that was unfortunate. And that also was the reason why I wanted to pot them all up. And for my Vanda leucostele seedlings, I also potted some of them up. Actually, I potted most of them up. They were previously in a community pot, actually like a food container with no bottom holes, but I had a thrips issue, and they just weren't doing super great, so I watched Orchidea's old seedling videos. Her seedlings have done very well, and one thing I noticed was she put them in baskets. So I've followed her lead and did the same thing. So I put these two baskets. I just noticed this one had a problem again, so I'm going to take care of that. And then I also have this crate with all the seedlings. And then to experiment, I wanted to try this one bare root in the clay pot. And this one has a little baggie on top just to help with the humidity. So this is my Aerangis punctata, and this is pretty disappointing this year. I was hoping that the 3 surviving buds would actually open and flower, but as you can tell, just before it was going to open, they all blasted, so I'm not too pleased with that. This is my Ctsm gladiatorium crossed with barbatum, and it's in spike again, so that's great. Very reliable bloomer. This is my Gongora Portentoza. So I had a growth here, but that died. But the funny thing is there's a new growth here. It's coming from way at the bottom, which I didn't notice at all until I noticed that one died. And this one, it's starting to leaf out, so that tells me this one is doing okay. One concern I have is if that one blooms or tries to bloom, I'm not going to see it because the pseudobulb's all the way at the bottom down there. And this is my Dendrobium ex usitae, and I'm trying to rest it, so I haven't really been giving it any water except when it's starting to shrivel like here. I'll give it a little bit of water, otherwise I kind of starve it. We'll see how that turns out in the springtime. These are my Dendrobium tobaense seedlings. They look kind of dead, but there's quite a few new growths on there. I'm actually wanting to pot these up into their own individual pots. I think it'll be easier to manage that way. And this one is my Dendrobium cariniferum, and this time I really wanted to give it a cold winter rest. So it's overwintering now. Starting last night was the night that I had to bring it inside, but otherwise I've been putting it outside at night, and ever since then it's pushed out like, I think 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 growths, although I think these 2 are technically cakeys, but ever since I've given it that really cold temperatures, it's done more than it's ever done before, so that's exciting. And this is my Dendrobium linawianum, and this one has been pretty much living outside for the autumn season, and I've been ignoring it other than spraying it every so often just to give it a cold rest. But again, I gotta bring it in because it's now too cold for it to be outside, so hoping that will trigger some blooms in the spring. And this one is my Thecostele alata. As predicted, this pseudobulb is going. I do have some new growths on the side. This one is doing well, but we'll see how that will actually turn out. I'm hoping I can really recover this plant, but we'll see. And last but not least, our Orchid Society did a group order with tension orchids, and I was very tempted, and I got 1 plant. So feel like I've been pretty good about purchasing this year, but this one I just couldn't resist. So this one is Dendrobium igniovium. So of course it's a black-haired Dendrobium. Alrighty, so that's my video for today. Thank you for watching and have a happy Halloween. Bye!